Get ready to celebrate the anniversary of the Misses tonight. 34 years. The good, the bad, and the great. But before I get to that commencement, I'm going to talk about a guy who I watched on television for many years, who I followed, and found out how deep he really was as a person, man. And that's none other than the legendary late great Stuart Scott, who passed away around, I think, about roughly 10 years ago from appendix cancer. But it's not about what he passed away from. It's about how he lived, man. And this was a guy who was very passionate about what he did. He was very passionate about the field and the genre that is sports talk. And he came from humble beginnings, being a sports talk broadcaster in down south, to becoming an icon in television sports broadcasting. He definitely is a Hall of Famer. And I watched it. I watched the whole thing, and it's definitely eye opener. There's things about him I didn't know. There's some things about him I did know, but it will move you. It will definitely move you if you, especially those of you who follow his, his journey in ESPN as a legendary broadcaster. He actually was a student at the University of North Carolina at the same time Michael Jordan was. I think he was in his first year and Jordan was in his last year. A lot of big name sports celebrities and entertainers all followed him for decades, man. And he built a cultural following in sports talk television, man. No one's ever done before. No one. Nope. Not Irv Cross, not James Brown, and they're legends too now. Don't get me wrong. Not Greg or Brian Gumbel, but Stuart Scott changed the landscape on it. Trust me on it, he did. But those guys came way before him. But what he did was completely, well, for lack of a better word, culturalistic, and very much a part of our vernacular. He built on that. And there were some haters out there, but he still kept it 100 on that, man. And I don't know, he left an indelible legacy on the world of sports culture forever. No question about that. Stuart Scott was the man. I used to watch him all the time on ESPN. Matter of fact, Stuart Scott was the only reason I ever watched ESPN, because ESPN, beyond him, I ain't gonna lie, was downright boring. It was. I'm gonna say that. It was boring. Boring as hell. I wish I got myself right there. Yeah, it was just boring. No offense. Before he came on board, it was boring as hell. I mean, you got the one guy. He's still on there. By the fact, I just saw him on there last 2 weeks ago during Monday Night Football segment. He was on there from the beginning. I forgot the guy looked like Fred Flintstone. I forgot his name. Well, anyway, but so many legends came out of there. If I'm mistaken, I think I'm not sure. But I think Kevin Frazier, who I didn't know. That's one I didn't know he started out in ESPN before he went to ET. Never knew that. Robert Roberts, who I knew was on ESPN for years, I'd been knew that. I followed her on the phone for a number of years, and then she went to Good Morning America. Keith Olbermann, before he went to MSNBC, was a sports jock on the ESPN. Dan Patrick and Rich Eisen, who was a longtime co-anchor of Stuart Scott's, man. He just came back to ESPN not too long ago, after a hiatus. Because he was there for a number of years, left came back again. You know, but a lot of legends came out of that. Yeah, many of them. Sure did. Many of them. So I ain't too surprised by that. But nevertheless, you know, he was about family, and at the end of the day, he really was about fighting a good fight, man. You know, you fight for everything, and that's what I got out of it. You fight every day. You know, not just for respect, but you fight every day to survive in general. But you fight, not physical fight, you know. But what I admired about him, I think he was a little younger than I was, but he never gave up, even on his, in his dying days. He never gave up. He just kept going and going and going until his body couldn't go anymore. That's a powerful message, man, from a guy who, although he had a sharp wit and a sharp sense of humor, really was a lot more of a powerful figure than people give him credit for. Brother, I salute you. I love you. I love you for what you did for the culture. I never won't forget that. And I continue to pray for your spirit and your family, man. All right, guys. But that's all I got. I just wanted to, talk about that, man, because I was a big fan of Stuart Scott. I was trying to get some fire from my son about it, because I know I remember he watched him when he was younger. So that's all I got. But I appreciate them. I appreciate you guys listening to my channel as well, because I also try to fight the good fight, man, on my channel, talk about the things that need to be heard. And that was one of the things that he did as well. I'm out.